Good morning everyone and welcome to the Cabinet meeting. I'm Councillor Amanda Hopgood, Leader of Durham County Council and Chair of the meeting. This meeting is being broadcast live through our YouTube channel. Before we commence with today's formal business, I'd like to cover some of the housekeeping issues for us all to follow. Please switch off or make silent your mobile phones and all other devices. Keep microphones switched off at all times unless invited to speak by myself as the Chair. When invited to speak, please switch on the microphone nearest to you and introduce yourself. So with that, we'll move on to the agenda. Item 1 is public questions. We haven't received any public questions for today's meeting. Item 2, minutes. Can I have a mover and seconder to the minutes of the meeting on the 15th of May, please?
Move it, Chair.
Thank you. Seconder?
Seconded, Chair.
Thank you. Can we agree the minutes are a correct record? Okay, I can confirm that the minutes are agreed. Item 3, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations from members this morning, please? No. Okay. Item 4, North East Devolution Combined Authority Borrowing Powers. Can I ask John Hewitt, Chief Executive, to present the report, please?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. And this report seeks Cabinet agreement to consent to the making of regulations to provide the new mayoral combined authority with borrowing powers in line with the agreed devolution deal. The borrowing powers are important to ensure NECA has the flexibility to manage its investment fund over the term of the devolution deal. The report seeks in-principle agreement to consent to the making of the regulations with delegation to myself to provide the consent when requested by the Secretary of State. It is important that the constituent councils across the NECA area provide consent so that the regulations can be taken forward at the earliest opportunity following the general election. The recommendation is set out in paragraph 5 of the report, Chair. Thank you.
Thanks, John. So as has been set out, securing borrowing powers for NECA in relation to non-transport functions is an important step to ensure that the authority can discharge its functions and deliver its vision, policies and priorities. The intention for the authority to have such powers was set out in the scheme, which was subject to public consultation. The government had intended to lay the required regulations in early July so that they could be approved by Parliament before the summer recess. The calling of the parliamentary general election means that that timescale is no longer achievable. However, it is important that each constituent authority has the necessary consents in place so that the regulations can be progressed without delay once Parliament convenes following the election. I therefore move the recommendations set out in paragraph 5 to the report. As Councillor Richard Bell.
Happy to second the report and recommendations, Chair.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Okay, can we agree the report and its recommendations, please? Agreed. Okay, I can confirm that the recommendations are agreed. Item 5 is Early Help Strategy 2024 to 2026. Can I ask John Pearce, Corporate Director of Children and Young People Services, to present the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. The purpose of the report is to request Cabinet endorses the Early Help Strategy 24 to 26, and the full strategy is attached to the report for information. It was agreed to review our partnership approach to early help, and that commenced in 2023 alongside key stakeholders, as well as children, young people and their families. The strategy sets out the priorities for the Early Help Partnership, which is underpinned by our local implementation of a number of national initiatives, including supporting families, family hubs and Start for Life. The strategy has been produced in conjunction with children, parents, carers and our local partners, including the voluntary and community sector. Our vision, the needs of our communities, how the early help system works in the county and our approach to working with children and families are described in a clear and accessible way in the strategy. It also looks back at the previous 5 years to reflect on what the partnership has achieved to date, as well as looking forward with our future commitments. The priorities for the partnership are set out on page 10 of the strategy and are based on our current data and intelligence of children and families' needs, alongside what they've told us is important for them. We need to measure how we are progressing against our priorities. The section on page 11 of the strategy describes how we will know if our approach is working. Early help is a really critical part of our work, so getting support to children and families at the right time to prevent escalation in need is absolutely essential and will continue to be a focus for the partnership going forward. The recommendations are set out in paragraph 10 of the covering report for Cabinet. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, John. Unfortunately, Councillor Henderson is ill this morning, so can I invite Councillor Alan Shield, Cabinet Portfolio Holder for Equality and Inclusion, to move the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. I welcome the new County Durham Early Help Strategy, which sets out a vision to support all children and families to achieve their goals in life in an environment that is safe, happy and healthy. We recognise that all families need support from time to time to help their children thrive, whether that's from friends, families, volunteers or local services. The updated strategy recognises that some families will thrive on universal support, and for others who have a range of needs will require more support to help them and reduce the need for statutory children's social care interventions. Our ambition is for every family to receive the right support at the right time and in the right place. We want all families to have access to the information and tools they need to care for and interact positively with their children and look after their own well-being. The strategy highlights our commitment to building positive and trusted relationships with children and families. It also sets out how we will work in partnership with health, education, criminal justice and voluntary community and faith organisations to ensure our support offer is accessible and meets the needs of all families in County Durham. Having considered the priorities set out in the Early Help Strategy, I'm happy to support it and move the recommendations to endorse it.
Thanks, Alan. Can I invite Councillor Chris Hood, Cabinet Portfolio Holder for Adult and Health Services, to second the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. I also welcome this updated County Durham Early Help Strategy. The strategy highlights how local services can best work together with children and their families to identify who needs help and how to meet a family's needs at the earliest opportunity. The strategy demonstrates collaboration across services and, importantly, co-production with children, young people, parents and carers to ensure the support we can provide is accessible and builds on the needs of our communities across the county. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Chris. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on the report? No, can we agree to receive and endorse the strategy, please?
Agreed.
Great, thank you. Item 6 is the update on the Corporate Asset Management Plan 2023 to 2025. Can I ask Amy Harhoff, Corporate Director of Regeneration, Economy and Growth, to present the report, please?
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, everybody. Amy Harhoff, Corporate Director of Regen, Economy and Growth. The purpose of this report is to update Cabinet on the progress with the implementation of our Corporate Asset Management Plan for 2023 to 2025. Our land and property assets are fundamental to successful service delivery, building strong communities and supporting economic growth across the county. The assets we have are varied both in type and locality, from managing public parks, schools and children's homes to delivering commercial office and industrial space. With a book value of over 1 billion, which includes 23,000 acres of land and 961 buildings, the Council is one of the most significant land and asset owners in the county. The Corporate Asset Management Plan provides the strategic direction and encompassing framework that recognises how land and property are essential to delivering the Council's wider objectives. It sets out the basis for how our property and land assets should be managed and how we wish to improve our estate. It shows how we are making a positive contribution to both the delivery of public services and the growth and development of the county as a vibrant and ambitious place. The plan is now 12 months into a 2-year plan period, and during that time, work is underway to implement a corporate approach to the management of estate, that is, the corporate landlord model. And this is key to the successful management of an asset base of this size and scale. Essentially, the number of properties and land retained for service delivery has remained static over the last year, and our residential estate has grown due to the Council's responsibility to meet its Homelessness Reduction Act duties. The update recognises the work completed and underway to deliver the Council's objectives through its estate. It outlines policy developments that bring structure to delivery, the continuing development of the corporate governance model, safety initiatives, improved joint agency and working practices that are now in place as a result of this framework. In addition, the update highlights a number of major projects completed and underway, which deliver the overall objectives of the Council's camp. It also sets out the asset management practice that the Council is sharing more widely and regionally through local government networks. Of particular reference, I would highlight from the report the increased number of children's homes to support vulnerable children and looked after children pressures, our increased industrial sites and commercial space, our increased critical housing stock to support the homelessness reduction, and a reduction in surplus assets through disposal and transfer. Moving forward, the Council and the camp will be focused on the development of the next document, which is programmed for delivery to Cabinet in 2025. A brief summary of the areas of focus is set out in the body of report and split into the following 3 areas, and they are the asset management strategy, the asset management policy, and the asset management action plan. The update reflects the progress with corporate landlord and changes to the makeup of the estate. The plan agreed by Cabinet last year provided a statement of strategic intent, and as set out in an update, an extensive programme of activities that exist that embeds the corporate ethos across the whole organisation and ensuring that the needs of the Council, as well as services in our communities, are met. Over the last 12 months, a new longer-term camp will be, over the next 12 months rather, a new longer-term camp will be developed that incorporates the progress made on the action plan and reflects changes in practices and corporate ambition. This will be brought to Cabinet in 2025 for consideration and approval. Cabinet is asked to note this report and the recommendations are set out in section 9, and Chair, that concludes my presentation.
Thanks, Amy. Can I invite Councillor James Rowlandson, Cabinet Portfolio Holder for Resources, Investments and Assets, to move the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. The update presented today shows the Council's land and property portfolio is vitally important to the success of the Council's ambitions. As set out in the Corporate Asset Management Plan, approved in April last year by Cabinet, it provides space for the delivery of our public services. It helps create jobs, housing and economic growth, as well as income to invest in our services. As a council and county, we experience a changing economic, social and financial environment which underlines that strong strategic management of our property is paramount. The strong governance models being developed offer assurance and clear decision making, which is key to ensuring best value and transparency for the use of public assets. Policies and the processes put in place by the Council assure the Cabinet that this is achieved. The update to the implementation of the Corporate Asset Management Plan provides Cabinet with a clear understanding of progress and the ambition for the future, with a clear direction to support, ensure value for money and provide strong leadership for our land and property. Chair, I would like to propose the recommendations set out in paragraph 9. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Can I invite Councillor Richard Bell, Deputy Leader and Portfolio Holder for Finance, to second the report, please?
Thanks, Chair. An effective corporate asset management plan is essential to the effective management of our scarce resources, managing our operational estate effectively and ensuring best value for our disposals and timely management of our buildings. These are all key to the Council's medium-term financial plan. I am pleased that this plan clearly sets out how our assets continue to support our financial planning and respond to the needs of the Council in its service delivery. I therefore second the report and the recommendations in paragraph 9.
Thanks, Richard. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to the report? Okay, can we agree the report and the recommendations? Agreed. Okay, I can confirm that the report has been agreed. Item 7 is such other business in the opinion of the Chair. Haven't been advised of any other business. Item 8 is a resolution to exclude the public. Can I have a mover and seconder to move a resolution to exclude the press and public, please?
Move it, Chair.
Thank you.
Seconded, Chair.
Okay, can we agree the resolution? Agreed. That concludes the business for the public part of the meeting. I would like to thank everyone for taking part and to those members of the public and media who've watched this meeting this morning.